Now that we've taken a look at searching for ebooks, I want to take you over to our databases that allow you to search through our electronic reference books to find eReference articles. Now, because these are actually individual articles that are within a book, we're going to go to the section of our search on the library website where you would actually choose articles rather than books and media, because we're actually looking for the individual pieces inside the book. So where we're going to go is search and then articles. Once we get on that page, we're going to then choose online reference resources in order to see the choices that we have for our eReference articles. What I'm going to show you when we go live here in just a moment is how to look in the Credo Digital Reference Library. You'll see though when you get to this online reference resources list, however, that we do have a list of other items including dictionaries, other resources that have reference books, etc. So feel free to explore any of those options that work best for you. The Credo Reference Digital Library though is it's a resource that has quite a few different reference books inside it, and it just covers a lot of different topics and can be really handy again for building that broad foundation that you're looking to build. So before we move on to journal articles, let's do a live search and show you how you would go about using the eReference databases in order to find a reference article. So like we mentioned a moment ago, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the search button just like we started for the articles, for the books and media search before, and also the same place will come back for journal articles. We're going to go to the articles link, and what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down until we find that online reference resources link. Once we click that, we'll be given that list I mentioned that shows you the different online reference resources that we have here at the White Library. And in this case, like I said, we're going to go to Credo Reference Digital Library. Again, as an off-campus student, this is the point you would be asked to log in to the databases. On this screen, you can see that there's several different ways that you can search for items. If you have a particular reference book in mind and want to know if it's in this database, you can even choose Find a Book up here. What we're going to do for right now, though, is we're going to do that basic search for the human trafficking phrase using that quotations help that Ruth Gaba told us about in that previous video. And what you see coming up on the screen next is 476 results that feature this phrase that we just searched by. One of the neat things about this being digital is that on the left, remember how we mentioned limiters before with the book catalog? You also have limiters in the electronic articles areas as well. And in this case, you have subject, media, person, and publication date choices you can make. So if you come into this and you know that you want to do research on human trafficking from a particular angle, you can click on subject here and you can choose, say, perhaps law. And it will narrow all of the results from that 400 plus items down to just 14. And these databases are going to be focused on the law angle, as opposed to looking across the spectrum of different subjects. Before, when we expanded this, you can see that there are a lot of different thought processes that are represented over here, a lot of different subjects. And as you look at this list that is not filtered at all, you can see that there are a variety of books that are represented here by our search as well. In this first case, you can see that this human trafficking article is from the Dictionary of Policing. If you go down a little bit further, you can see that this entry is from the Encyclopedia of Intelligence and Counterintelligence, so on and so forth. If you take a look at these, you can see that there are a lot of different ideas represented. So if you want to see the gamut of what is in all of the different books that are represented in this database, feel free to click to read the articles that are here. But if you want to narrow that down and make your list a little more manageable and you know the area that you want to research it from, feel free to click these limiters. Again, if you click on something and then you decide, you know, this really wasn't what I wanted after all, you can easily get rid of this narrowed result by clicking the X next to the subject you don't want to see anymore, and it will return you back to your original result. I want to show you what one of these entries looks like, so I'm going to click on the title here. And if I scroll down, you can see that the full text of this article is represented on this page. One of the neat things you can do about this, though, is you can actually come up here to where it says print, and Credo Reference will create a PDF version of this article that you see here. You can just simply tell it to open with Adobe Acrobat, and when it regenerates this article into a PDF form, you'll see that there's something really interesting at the end of this. If we take a look at this PDF, you'll see that the full text that we just saw on the screen is here, but also when you go to the very last page that's in this document, you'll see that Creative Reference also provided 4 different citation styles of how to cite this resource. Right here is the APA resource that you'll want to take a look at for your particular style of resource or of citations for your papers. But the one thing I will warn you about, and this is true with any database, you will want to make sure to compare the way that the database generated this citation against what your APA manual says, because sometimes you'll find that perhaps the generators don't always put in all of the capitalization, or it doesn't put in all of the italics that are supposed to be there. For example, in this phrase dictionary policing should have been capitalized. But the idea here is it provides you with the components that are necessary in the correct order in order for you to appropriately cite the item that you were looking for in the first place. So I encourage you to feel free to look at those. Just make sure that you keep comparing it against the book so that you know that you're looking at the right thing. So now that we have taken a look at how to find and how to use these different resources for e-reference materials, we're going to move on and talk about how to find e-journal articles.